What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. Tyler, Caroline here with you, and hallelujah, Tyler, the losing streak is snapped.
It's over. It's over.
Yes, we can be positive on our pregame show. We're happy. We're excited. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, I think it makes it even better that we did that against the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, that is the really fun part. It's always good to go out and beat the provincial rivals. Felt like a real collective sigh of relief from Nation citizens and Oilers Nation in general. And now you look at it, the Oilers are in a spot where a win tonight against the Vancouver Canucks would put them at 20-16-2 on the year. It would also move them into pretty much a tie for the final playoff spot in the Pacific Division if you sort by points percentage. So plenty of reasons to feel good right now. Boy, did they need that win.
Yeah, and big game tonight, obviously, against the Vancouver Canucks, another must-win. We'll get into that in a moment, but right now, let's talk about Evan Bouchard on the power play for the Oilers, something that we've been talking about on this pregame show, that fans online have been talking about how lethal of a weapon he is, and now that coaching has finally realized it, 2 big goals for Bouchard, the rookie, against the Flames.
Yeah, I mean, did the coaching staff realize it, or did they just literally run out of options?
We'll go with realize it just for our, just to feel good.
But yeah, huge game from Bouchard, and he should absolutely be staying on that spot when it comes to the power play. Like, what more can he do? He walks the line beautifully. Yep. He has a cannon of a slap shot. He has a super sneaky wrist shot as well, like we saw. This guy should be your number 1 power play option on the blue line, and going forward, like especially tonight, again, still no Tyson Barrie. It better be Bouchard, the first one over the boards.
And Lamborghini Perlini, we all know, you're right. Obviously, red hot preseason, quiet start to the season for him, but now 3 goals in his last 4 games, a big one against the Flames. And I just think, we were talking, off camera, Tyler, this guy's refreshing.
Yeah.
He's a natural goal scorer. His positivity, his attitude, you want to hear him talk, it's contagious. I really, really like what we're seeing from Perlini right now.
Yeah, and I don't think I was the only one. Like, he was the guest on After Hours with Scott Oak after the game, and usually I never watch that. But I made a point of, like, keeping the TV on because I'm like, I want to hear what this guy has to say. He had the press conference kind of 10 days ago or whenever that was where he had some really cool insights, and his After Hours interview was fascinating. It was great to see him score a big goal as well, his 4th on the season. And this, like, he skates well, he shoots the puck hard, he brings that energy. His celebration was great after the goal. This is a guy who should be staying in the lineup, and he is tonight. He's going to get a chance to play with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
I love it. Yeah, okay, so Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is back in the lineup. We'll talk about that in a second. Right now, Draisaitl scoring 2 goals on the night, couple of apples as well. Maybe these pissy moods are working in his favor.
Cool.
I mean...
And what a game winner as well, right? To just kind of, it almost felt like he was just taking the game into his own hands there for a second. And he just drops his shoulder, drives hard, scores the goal, big celly as well. And that was the one that sealed it up. He was unreal. That was an MVP level performance for a guy who's now vaulted himself with the 4-point performance right back near the top of the NHL scoring race.
Oilers Nation, rightfully so, we've been tough on goaltending because it's been an issue for us between the pipes. However, we have to give a big shout out to Big Mikko, 44 saves on the night. Not only did he help the Oilers snap their losing streak, but also Dave Tippett's losing streak behind the bench. Massive performance from him when the weight of the world is on his shoulders, and I think he showed up big time for the Oilers. Yeah,
Mikko Koskinen was absolutely massive. Like Draisaitl said after the game, he was probably their best player. Yep. Now, I mean, Draisaitl said that. Let's be real. Leon might have been their best player in that game, but Koskinen slammed the door in the final 40 minutes, and especially coming down the stretch there when that game was tight, he made some huge saves. And again, you could see as the players after the game were going to him and giving the head taps and the hugs, they really wanted to win that one for Mikko. Draisaitl touched on that after the game. He was excellent, and tonight he's going to get to go up against a Vancouver team that he had probably his 2nd best game of the season against. Back on October 30th, Koskinen stopped 29 of 30 in a victory.
Love to see it. Confidence is obviously swirling in this Oilers team, and they're going to need it tonight as they take on the Vancouver Canucks. Let's head over to our opposition report presented by Yeg Burger. Obviously, the Canucks 18-19-4 coming off of 2 losses against the Panthers and the Blues. Obviously, with that being said, Tyler, not a team that we can take lightly. We kind of saw their, I don't know what to call it, in-season bounce back when head coach Bruce Boudreau took over. So you know that the Vancouver Canucks are looking to get a W tonight on home ice. And right now, the Canucks and the Oilers are neck and neck in the standings. So a must win for the Oilers.
Yeah, this is a team you should be beating. Vancouver kind of got the I don't know if you want to call it like a dead cat bounce. I think
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
the financial
Yeah.
term when something can't go down any further. It's due to bounce up. They got some wins under Bruce Boudreau. I know I probably didn't use that right, so just don't even talk to me about it in any of the comment sections.
It's okay. I've said some weird stuff too. Don't worry, Tyler.
But they're starting to come back down to earth is my point a little bit here. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10. They're a super average team on home ice as well with a record of 8-8-2. Granted, the Oilers are only 8-8-2 on the road this year, so that's an interesting matchup going into tonight. But they've really kind of slowed down as of late. Their scoring's dipped off, and in general, I mean, part of it's COVID issues, and we'll touch on that in just a second. But the Boudreau bump was great for them, and I think their fan base really needed that. But this isn't a team that's going to be a threat to go on some charge and make the playoffs. This is a team that is probably sitting where they're going to finish the year, 7th in the Pacific, and this is 2 points tonight that the Oilers should absolutely get.
Tyler crushing every Vancouver Canucks dream right now. Every fan out there who supports the Canucks, dreams are crushed. Let's get into the lines presented by Dew's Vodka. Although maybe the Canucks not having the best season, some key players still in their lines.
Yep, they do. And Elias Pettersson is a guy who is certainly heating up. He was really, really slow start to the season. He only had 6 goals up until these last 5 games where he's found a way to put in 3. He's on the left side of that top line with JT Miller down the middle, who is fresh out of COVID protocol. Brock Besser on the right side. Juho Lammikko with Tyler Mott and Matthew Highmore. Jason Dickinson with the former Oiler Alex Chason and Niels Hoglander on the left side. Justin Dowling with the top 10 pick Vasily Podkolzin on the left side and Justin Bailey on the right side. You can tell, they've loaded up that top line with Miller, Pettersson, and Besser, and Juho Lammikko is your second line center. This is a Canucks team that is not very deep. The deep pairings are Oliver Ekman-Larsson with Tyler Myers, Quinn Hughes with Tucker Poolman, and Kyle Burrows with Luke Shen. Starting between the pipes tonight is going to be Spencer Martin, making just, I believe, his 6th career NHL start and his 2nd start since the 2016-17 season. But he did play against Florida the other day, stopped 33 of 34 en route to a shootout loss. So he had a good start this year, but it's also Spencer Martin. This is not an NHL goalie.
All right, and how about for the Edmonton Oilers? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is back.
The Nuge is back, and we'll start with that here for just a quick second. As the big bump here, the thing I'm paying attention to the most is Nuge on the penalty kill. He hasn't played since December 31st. Since Nuge has left the lineup, the Oilers have a league worst 52% PK percentage. Nuge plays a lot of heavy minutes on when they're shorthanded. He also has the best goals against per 60 of all their players who regularly kill penalties. Nuge should really help on the PK. As far as the forward lines go, he will slot in on the third line with Brendan Perlini, 3 goals in his last 5 games, and Zach Kassian will also make his return to the lineup on the right side. The top 6 will stay the same. McDavid with Ryan McLeod on the left side and Kyler Yamamoto. That's how they finished the game against Calgary. Draisaitl with Fogle and Puljujarvi, and the fourth line is Derek Ryan with Devin Shore and Colton Sevier. I saw a message in the Twitch chat here. I'm just trying to see. Scott Aroni asked if Hyman is going to play today. He's not going to be in the lineup tonight, but I do think Hyman will be available to play on Thursday as he hopefully will exit COVID protocol. Nurse with Bouchard, Keith with Ceci, Russell with Cuckoo are your deep pairings. And like we said, Mikko Koskinen gets the start between the pipes.
Awesome. And Tyler, you think that the Oilers are coming out tonight with a W. So where are you putting your money in our bet of the game presented by PointsBet?
Yeah, shout out to our friends at PointsBet. The Oilers are favorites heading into this hockey game. I think they're coming in right around minus 140, minus 150 on the money line now, actually. If you like the Oilers to win this game in regulation, it's minus 105. On the spread, it's plus 165. But as far as my bet of the game goes, and this is the line that's been shifting throughout the day so far today, if you got in on the Oilers team total earlier this morning before the Spencer Martin news, it was paying plus 115. It's now flipped to minus 115, but my bet of the game is still Oilers over 3.5 goals. I like their offense to get going. They scored 4 against Ottawa. They scored 5 against Calgary. They have Nugent-Hopkins back in the lineup. Even the game they got shut out against Florida, they didn't really get shut out. They got Bobrovsky. Sergei was great, right?
Was awesome.
They had a ton of chances. I think the offense is really going to keep humming along for the Oilers. That's why I like the team total tonight.
Awesome. And are we doing a key to the game presented by Tourism Jasper?
We are doing a key to the game.
All
So you
right.
can give us your take in whatever chat you are participating on and watching the show in, and you could win some ski passes and some Tourism Jasper swag. For me, Caroline, it's going to be score first. They still didn't do it against Calgary, and I think you're going up against a Canucks team that could be a little fragile. Like I said, just 4 wins in their last 10, and a goalie in Spencer Martin who doesn't have a lot of experience. Deflate their confidence early, dominate the first 10 minutes, get an early goal, and it should be smooth sailing from there.
I love it. For me, my key to the game, Brendan Perlini has been just such a leader in terms of his positive mindset. And, you know, you spoke about after hours, Tyler, he was talking about manifestation, and he's just been so patient. And I love to see an NHLer be so vulnerable and speak to all of that. I think that maybe the way Brendan Perlini is the way that the rest of the Oilers should be come together. Maybe just have some fun on the ice. Maybe then everything will come together. Of course, obviously eliminate slow starts, score first, keep your lead, solid goaltending. Those are always our key to the games. But, you know, the worst hopefully may be over. There's light at the end of the tunnel. The boys snapped their losing streak. So go out on the ice, have fun, play for each other, and maybe that's the best recipe for success tonight. And I think Brendan Perlini is just such an awesome example of how his mindset and positivity has helped him score goals. And hopefully, you know, that kind of rubs off on the rest of the Oilers.
Yeah, potentially. Going to the chats here. Over on the Facebook chat, Dino and Matthew both saying, bringing up the idea of trading Tyson Barrie, which I actually think is something to kind of keep an eye on. I think Barrie's a guy who probably still has some value around the NHL, but at $4.5 million, he's not great at 5-on-5. And if you have Evan Bouchard there to kind of man the power play, there's really not much of a need for a healthy Tyson Barrie. So I actually don't think it's too far-fetched of an idea. Still cruising through here. Michael says Tippett might have been working on his resume during the first intermission. And yeah, like down 2-0 to Calgary. Dave Tippett's lucky they came back and won that game, because that definitely saved his, or probably did save his job behind the bench.
I'm sure a lot of people were breathing after that game. It was a deep exhale after that game.
Michael also said his key to the game is going to be goaltending. Don't need to steal the game, but no softies. And the other one I liked came from Alex Wolf, who said, someone give the keys to Lamborghini Perlini already. Speed and grit will be the key to beating the new Vancouver Canucks. And Alex and Michael Parker, you guys are going to win. So we got 2 Tourism Jasper giveaways. Message the Oilers Nation account. I'll get back to you a little bit later, but just shoot us a message and say that you won.
Awesome stuff, everyone. This has been your Giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. Tyler, geez, I did this last time. Tyler and Caroline here with you as always, and we'll see you next time. Jeez.